The sequel to Red Dead Redemption is shaping up to be one of the best games of the year. Let's take a deeper dive into the world of RDR2. Hey guys, JV here, and today we're discussing realism in Red Dead Redemption 2. Before we get into that, just heads up, you can find daily streams of the newest games, as well as commentaries just like this on my Facebook page. So check out the link in the description below and stay tuned for tons of awesome content. This time, we're exploring more of IGN's Red Dead Redemption 2 coverage, and the focus is on the realism of the game world and the steps Rockstar took to achieve their goals. Also, side note, I literally still have the worst allergies, so that's why I sound nasally. Anyways, for Rockstar, the ultimate goal is to create a world that feels like it exists independently of the player. Navigation in Red Dead Redemption 2 is slower and closer, which required an insane amount of detail to create the illusion of reality. In order for players to immerse themselves in the world, interact in new ways, forge nuanced relationships, it must feel like the world goes on without the player. According to co-studio head at Rockstar North, Rob Nelson, Dutch's gang needed jobs. Everyone needed to have a routine, needed to live in camps, and move those camps around. The camp needed to be believable. Just like regular camping, it revolves around eating. The cook, Pearson, actually prepares the food, puts it in the pot, and then places it on the fire. Once it's ready, people come and grab some and then eat it. This routine happens multiple times per day, just like in reality. It's this amount of detail, which stretches far beyond eating, that helps create that illusion of reality. Just like the real world, everything runs on a schedule. In line with that goal, characters will talk amongst themselves without the player being present too. But if you decide to interject, these will branch and change, but the core idea is that the world doesn't revolve around just you, the player. For example, Rockstar wants you to get to know characters on a personal level. With Bill Williamson, a character that appeared in the first game, they want you to learn what he was like before Red Dead Redemption. What makes him tick, what other people think about him. You get to see these interactions that help you learn more about these characters. That way you know who you're robbing banks with. It feels like you're completing activities with an actual person. Additionally, RDR2 uses a lock-on system, which was previously reserved for combat, to let the player interact with other characters. When locked on, each face button will offer unique contextual behaviors. You may be able to greet or antagonize or threaten to rob a stranger, but if things escalate, one option could change and allow you to defuse the situation. One challenge for Rockstar is to strike a balance between the game being fun, but also hyper-realistic. For example, the guns still have to be fun to play with and shoot without feeling like too much of a pain in the ass to use. Large animals that you hunt and kill will rot over time, but small ones are perfectly preserved in your satchel, and that's just a convenience thing. However, some things are so realistic that they can be emotionally traumatic. Horses play a much larger role in this game. You take them everywhere, and your horse can die, but it's not instantaneous. Your horse can become seriously injured, and if you have the right tools, you can nurse it back to health. It can survive, but there are situations when you won't. Let's say that your horse hurts its leg really badly and can't get back on its feet. That means that you, the player, have to run to town and get medicine if you don't have it. And let's say you don't get back in time, you could find that your horse died alone without you. These are defining moments that stick with players long after they complete the game, and Rockstar wants you to feel as many of these as possible outside of the main storyline. Now, there are of course some boundaries to the level of realism. For example, on a particular robbery mission, you can't choose who to go with. There's tons of choices in how you accomplish the robbery, but not on who you bring with you. Rockstar played around with that possibility and found that it degraded the overall quality of the experience. Similarly, you can't just go and burn down a whole town or whole forests. You could with the technology, but Rockstar found that it doesn't serve a practical purpose, so they don't make that possible. At the same time, it's difficult to put the player in the shoes of a character like Arthur Morgan and give them complete freedom in their actions. For example, Arthur wouldn't just abandon his gang completely, he wouldn't quit them. Everything you do is consistent with what Arthur would realistically do. So the player could ignore the gang for a while, but they'll treat you differently when you return. However, that doesn't affect the overall narrative. The goal is to cater to as many players as possible. If they want to go off and do their own thing for a while, you do that, but you're not going to get punished in the main narrative. However, Rockstar believes that their central narrative is so compelling that players will naturally assume the role of Arthur and do those things by their own choice. One final tidbit, none of the world is procedurally generated. It's all crafted by hand by the designers. Additionally, it isn't just Rockstar North working on this project. It's every Rockstar studio working together globally as a single team, and it's been growing since they began the initial development nearly a decade ago. So that's everything on the game world and realism. It sounds game-changing to me. We've yet to play a game with this level of interaction between the player and the world around them. And to add on top of that, this game is open world. You would expect this in a very linear, focused, single-player experience, but no. This is something that has so many variables and so many possibilities. These interactions will span a large, sprawling map full of variety of towns and environments. God, I cannot wait to play this game. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. In the comment section below, tell me what you think about the balance of realism and fun. Which is more important to you if you had to choose one? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more commentaries just like this. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.